What's up, YouTube? It's Design Jedi, and I found an article from Cineblend that really pissed me off, so I thought I would do a video on it. Why Star Trek 4 doesn't need Chris Pine? Well, just from the headline, I'll tell you straight up, that's bullshit. Chris Pine is, great in these movies. It's my personal opinion. You can have another opinion, but I thought Chris Pine carried Star Trek 3. You know, anyway. The Star Trek universe has been a busy place of late, with announcements of new TV series and multiple potential new film projects on the horizon. However, over the weekend, one of those film projects, the follow-up to Star Trek Beyond, seemed to come crashing to a halt as both Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth, who were expected to star in the film, walked away from negotiations after the studio reportedly asked both stars to take a pay cut. Well, that would seemingly kill any chance this new movie had to get off the ground. My colleague Adam Holmes said Chris Pine's departure should be a deal breaker. The fact is that the next Star Trek movie doesn't actually need Captain Kirk. That is bullshit! It does need Captain Kirk. Holy hell. You're talking about a Star Wars movie without Captain Kirk? Are you fucking kidding me? Damn. Anyway. To be clear, the next Star Trek movie had been reported to have a plot that revolved around time travel and would have seen George Kirk, played by Chris Hemsworth in the original Star Trek reboot, return in some capacity. Clearly, making that particular story without the two Chris's would seem likely impossible, but there's no reason you can't make a Star Trek movie without James Kirk. Again, you are fucking insane. Damn. Holy hell. This article fucking pisses me off. Holy shit. I am fucking mad. Anyway. While the box office may not show it, I actually think Star Trek Beyond is the best of the reboot universe Trek films. It's questionable. Star Trek Beyond was okay. The end was pretty cool, where they played sabotage and blew up all this fucking... That's probably the best part in the movie. But anyway. A big part of the reason for this is because it doesn't rely as heavily on Captain Kirk as the hero of the movie. The crew of the Enterprise gets split up for a large portion of the film, and each small group is given some time in the spotlight. Sure, Kirk gets to play action hero as the guy racing around on a motorcycle, but he's still one member of an entire crew, and the entire crew is made up of great actors who can easily carry a movie. But it doesn't have fucking Captain Kirk. Are you fucking kidding me? Damn. As Star Trek The Next Generation showed us on television, Star Trek is great when it focuses on the people and uses science fiction simply as a backdrop for those characters' interaction. While the captain is obviously an important character on a starship, he doesn't have to be an important character in the story. For that reason, Star Trek simply doesn't need Kirk, and so it doesn't need Chris Pine. Are you fucking kidding me? A Star Trek movie doesn't need to be a Kirk story. It can be a Spock story, or a Bones story, or a Uhura story. It doesn't need to focus on any one character at all, actually. If Kirk isn't there, then the story about why he's not there and how the crew as a whole reacts to that feels like an obvious place for the story to go. It's not going to get made without Chris Pine. There's no fucking way. And if you do make a story with an Uhura story, or a Bones story, or a Spock story, whatever. Fucking Captain Kirk, okay? Damn. After all, the last time a Star Trek movie was missing a major character, the plot focused on finding him again. And the reboot films love to make references to the original series films, so it's an obvious place to go. Of course, the next Star Trek movie doesn't need to even fall like a direct sequel to Star Trek Beyond. It could treat it as a spin-off or only focus on a couple of characters, say Spock and Uhura. You keep going back to that. I mean, the movie doesn't need to center around Spock and Uhura. Oh my god. Whatever. You could leave the entire rest of the crew out of it. Are you kidding me? And still make a Star Trek movie. Just because the movie might not take place concurrently with Enterprise crew we know and love doesn't mean it has to be about that. Anyway, odds are that one way or another the issue will be dealt with and Star Trek 4 will get back on track, but if it doesn't, it's simply not the end of the world. James T. Kirk is an important part of Star Trek. James T. Kirk is one of the most important parts of Star Trek, but he's not the only part. Star Trek doesn't need to be a star vehicle for anybody. If the story is strong enough, the other actors are more than capable of making a Star Trek movie that's worth seeing and worthy of being called Star Trek. No, it is not. Holy freaking hell. Alright? What's next? Star Trek 4 doesn't need the Enterprise? It's a Star Trek, not Superman. Being a Lois Lane isn't going to get you anywhere. The star of Star Trek is the Starship Enterprise. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. No mention of who is on the ship. Yeah, here we go. The Enterprise needs Kirk, plain and simple. Paramount better pay the man. Oh, man. Oh, this shit pisses me off. Articles like this are just fucking crazy. How are you going to make a fucking Star Trek movie without Captain Kirk? Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's all I got for right now. Let me know what you guys feel about this in the comments. I'm anxious to see what some people have to say. Have a good day.